They called her the youngest, richest house agent in the city, but nobody asked how she got rich so fast, until one day, a buyer looked around the empty estate and asked, "Madam, are you sure this house actually exists?" That was the day her secret finally started to leak. She flaunted wealth, she insulted people as poor, she sold houses like water until the day her past returned in human form, and everything she built with lies, beauty, and darkness began to crack. Welcome to Chichi Fairy Tale. Ada was only 26, but she already had what many older women were still praying for. She drove a shiny red car, her nails were always done, her Instagram was full of soft life pictures, beaches, restaurants, shopping bags. Everyone said, she is so hardworking. Beauty with brains. God has really blessed her. But God was not the one getting the calls from angry people. Ada was a land and house agent. At least, that was what she told everyone. In truth, Ada had a secret way of making money. She would collect money from two different people, for the same house. She would show them a beautiful building in an estate. She would rush them to sign papers they did not read well. As soon as they paid, she would disappear. Some people tried to call her. Her number stopped going through. When they returned to the estate, the security man would say, "I do not know any agent called Ada." One of those people was Keen. Keen was a calm man. He saved for years to buy his first house. He trusted Ada because she sounded confident and professional. He paid her, she smiled. Then she stopped answering his calls. At first, Keen thought, maybe she is busy. Then he thought, maybe there is a problem with the network. After some days, Keen stopped thinking. He knew the truth. He had been cheated, and he was not the only one. Keen was not the kind of man who shouted on the street, but losing all his savings in one day changed something inside him. He went back to the estate where Ada had shown him the house. The building was still there, the gate was still there, the flowers were still there, but the security man frowned when he saw him. "You again? I told you, we do not know any Ada." Keen did not argue. He walked away slowly and waited in his car, not too far from the gate. Hours passed. The sun moved. Keen was tired. Just when he wanted to go home, a black car stopped in front of the gate. Ada stepped out. She was laughing with a new client, a young couple holding hands. She pointed at the same house she had sold to Keen. Something hot rose in Keen's chest. He watched her collect a brown envelope from the couple. They smiled and thanked her. Keen came out of his car. "Ada." She turned. Her smile dropped for 1 second, then came back. "Ah, Mr. Keen. Long time. I was just about to call you." The lie made him feel sick. Before he could speak, the young woman beside Ada asked, "Madam, sorry. Are you sure this house actually belongs to you?" Ada laughed loudly. "Of course. Do you think I play with people's houses?" But her eyes moved too fast. Her hand shook a little. Keen took a deep breath and said, very clearly, "It belongs to me too. I already paid her for this same house." The couple froze. The security man turned his head. In less than 10 minutes, everything became noise, shouting, questions, phone calls, and then police sirens. Ada was arrested that day. For the first time in her life, her red car did not take her home, it took her to a police station. Ada thought she would go home that same evening. She did not. The people she had cheated started coming out, one by one, a young teacher who cried in the station, a widow who sold her shop to pay for land, a man who traveled from another city with his receipt. They all had one name on their documents, Ada. Ada's lawyer tried. He said, "She is young. She made mistakes." But there were too many complaints. Ada was sent to prison for 6 months. Prison was nothing like her Instagram life. The bed was hard, the food was small, the clothes were ugly. Nobody called her beauty with brains there. Ada sat many nights staring at the ceiling. She did not feel sorry for the people she cheated. She only felt angry that she got caught. She promised herself, "When I come out, I will never be this weak again. Next time, nobody will catch me." The day she was released, she walked out of the gate with no car, no makeup, no phone, but her mind was already working. She knew she could not return to her old tricks in the same way. People would be watching. She needed a new kind of protection, something stronger than lies, something that could blind people and close their mouths. Something she did not find on Instagram, something she would later find in a very dark place. For now, All people saw was a young woman walking out of prison. But inside, Ada had already decided. She would come back richer, she would come back bigger. And this time, her evil would be harder to catch. 6 months later, Ada's return looked like a miracle. She came back to the city in a new car, not red this time. Deep blue, shining in the sun, her skin was glowing, her pink pixie haircut looks perfect, her nails were brighter. People stared and whispered, "I thought she went to prison? Maybe she changed. Maybe she is now serious and hardworking." Soon, Ada opened a new office. The signboard said, "ADA Royal Homes, Trusted Lands and Houses." Clients came again. Some women clapped and said, "She is so strong. She fell and stood up. I like her spirit." Some jealous people made up stories. "She must have a rich sugar daddy. No, I heard she is dating a Yahoo boy. Maybe she sold her womb for money." Ada did not care what they said, she only cared that money was entering her account. The truth was simple but dark. Before leaving the town where the prison was, Ada had visited a man people only called Chief. His house was far from the road, there were red cloths on the walls, strange marks on the ground. Ada told him everything. "I do not want to be caught again," she said. "I want to make money from people and walk away free." Chief looked at her for a long time. "What you are asking for is not small," he said slowly. "It has a price. And it has rules." Ada agreed before hearing the rules. Chief gave her a charm and some instructions. From that day, Ada's business grew faster than before. When people tried to report her, cases got lost, receipts went missing, witnesses changed their mind, some people fell sick and forgot the fight. Others simply gave up. Everyone said, "Wow, Ada is really blessed." But a blessing that rides on a charm never forgets where it came from. And the charm Ada carried had an expiry date. Business was sweet. Ada now focused on bigger things, whole estates, wide lands, and houses with tall gates and flowers. She loved going online to say things like, "Some of you are poor because you are lazy. Empty brains. While you are sleeping, I am selling houses." Her followers clapped in the comments. Motivation. "Teach us, boss lady." Only a few people looked at her and felt something was wrong. One day, Ada found a new estate to sell. It was quiet, almost too quiet. An old woman who sold fruits near the gate said, "My daughter, this land is not ordinary. Be careful." Ada laughed. "Auntie, please. Everything is ordinary when money is involved." She took pictures and videos and posted them everywhere. Soon, a man named Mr. Obinna became interested. He was not rich, but he was serious and careful. His wife prayed over every decision. They met Ada at the estate. She wore a bright dress and high heels. "This place is perfect for your family," Ada said. Smiling, they walked around. The house looked fine. The air felt a little cold, but Ada talked so much that they ignored it. When they came back to the front of the house, Mr. Obinna stopped. Something inside him was not comfortable. His wife also felt strange. He looked at Ada, then at the building. For a moment, it felt like the house was far away, even though it was directly in front of them. Without planning it, he heard himself say, "Madam, are you sure this house actually belongs to you?" Ada froze. The same words, the same question. For a second, her heart remembered Keen, the police, the cell. She forced a laugh. "Sir, of course. Do you think I would bring you to a place that does not belong to me?" The old fruit seller watched from a distance. She shook her head sadly. The air in the estate grew heavier. Something, somewhere, was getting ready to answer that question for real. That night, Ada could not sleep. She kept hearing the question in her head, "Are you sure this house actually belongs to you?" She tried to shake it off. "It is just one careful man," she told herself. "I have handled worse." But strange things began to happen. The next morning, some documents in her office turned blank. Names disappeared from papers. Stamps moved to the wrong places. When she drove past the estate later that week, the house looked different. The paint seemed older. The flowers were dry. The gate was half open. Had it always looked that way? She blinked and rubbed her eyes. Then, for a quick second, she did not see a house at all. She saw a large, empty land with small white cloths tied to sticks, like someone had once done a burial there. Ada gasped. She blinked again. The house was back. She drove away fast. That night, she decided to call Chief. Chief, something is wrong. The houses, the papers, he cut her off. I warned you, he said. Did you keep all the rules I gave you? Ada swallowed. There was one rule she had broken. She was not supposed to insult people she cheated. She was not supposed to mock the poor. But she had done it many times online and in person. You broke the protection, Chief said quietly. The charm is now turning. What you took from others must return. Ada's heart beat fast. Return how? She asked, but the call cut off. Her phone screen went black. In the mirror, for just one moment, she did not see herself. She saw a woman standing in front of a house for sale sign, with no face. The next day, Ada woke up to loud knocks. She opened her door and saw 3 people, Victor, Mr. Obinna, and the old fruit seller from the estate. Behind them were more faces, people she had cheated before, people who had lost money, land, and peace because of her. They did not shout, they just looked tired. Ada, Victor said softly, we are done chasing you. Today, we are taking you back to where it started. They went together to the estate, but when they arrived, Ada stopped breathing for a second. There was no house, no gate, no flowers, only land, and small white cloths on sticks, moving slowly in the wind. Where is the house? Someone whispered. Mr. Obinna turned to Ada. Madam, are you sure this house ever existed? Ada opened her mouth, but no sound came out. The old fruit seller stepped forward. This land belonged to people who died without justice, she said. It was never meant to be sold. You turned their resting place into your market. Now they have collected their property back. The air felt thick, Ada's legs shook. Voices that no one else could hear began to whisper in her ears. Return what you took. Return what you took. Return what you took. Her phone buzzed, bank alerts, money leaving her account, one after another, going back to the people around her. Victor checked his phone and gasped, my money. It is back. Others shouted the same thing. Ada's car keys fell from her hand, her red and blue cars were both gone from her mind, her office, her clothes, all of it felt far away. She tried to run, but her feet felt heavy, like they were stuck to the soil. The old fruit seller looked at her sadly. You turned people's dreams into your business, she said. Now you will stand here, in front of dreams that can never be bought. Ada tried to scream. The ground under her feet felt like it opened, just a little. Not enough to swallow her body, just enough to swallow her freedom. From that day on, people said that whenever you passed that land, you would see a young woman standing near an invisible gate. She would smile and say, please, come. I can show you a house. But there was no house, just land, just wind, just a warning. Some people called it a ghost, some said it was their imagination. But Victor always told this to anyone who would listen. If a deal looks too shiny, remember Ada. Not every house you are shown is meant for you, and not every rich smile is safe. And somewhere, in a place between the seen and unseen, Ada kept repeating the same line forever. Madam. Sir. Are you sure you do not want to buy this house? Even though the house never really existed. The story of Ada spread through the city faster than Harmattan wind. People whispered about her in markets. Mothers warned their daughters. Men shook their heads and said, that girl was too greedy. But the land where everything ended remained quiet. Sometimes, children passing by would say, I saw a woman standing near an invisible gate. I heard someone asking, do you want to buy a house? Adults would laugh nervously and pull them away quickly. But the truth was simple. What Ada tried to destroy was watching her. One evening, Victor returned to the land alone. The white cloths were still there. The wind was still strong, but the place felt calmer than before. He stood there, thinking about everything, his savings, Ada's downfall, the way the land took back what belonged to it. He whispered quietly, I hope she finds peace. Wherever she is. The old fruit seller appeared beside him. She always appeared softly, like she walked with the air. Young man, she said, greed does not end because someone is punished, it ends when people learn. Victor nodded slowly. He knew she was right. Somewhere on the land, a faint breeze carried Ada's voice for a moment. Please. Come. I can show you a house. But the land swallowed it gently, like a story closing its own book. Victor turned and walked away. This time, he didn't feel fear. He didn't feel anger. he felt wiser. The land had finished its work, and Ada, who once walked around with loud beauty and louder pride, now stood silent in a place where lies could never survive again. The spirits who owned that land had been warning her all along. They spoke through ordinary people, buyers, strangers, even passers-by, pushing the same question out of their mouths: "Madam, are you sure this house exists?" But Ada never heard the warning. Money blinded her, pride covered her ears, and the land she disrespected simply waited. Until the day it answered her by itself. Besties, don't be like the greedy Ada, because greed may look smart at first, but it never ends smart. When you build wealth on tears, that wealth always returns to its owners. No charm can protect a heart filled with wickedness, and no lie stays standing forever, not even a house that never existed. Besties, if this story touched you, don't leave without liking, sharing, and subscribing to Chichi Fairytales. More twists are coming. Don't miss them.